So I have seen the spoiler for the updated Sabine, and I just have so many thoughts that I like to discuss, and I do not know where to start with the script. So if this video seems kind of improvised, it's because it is. Of course, it kind of goes without saying that if you don't want to be spoiled about the updated Dark Riders, you should probably click up this video because I am going to show footage of the updated Sabine. In case you don't know, Sabine is already available in the game. And she's not even in a restricted area, she's just right there in plain sight in Wildwoods. And you can climb up to her and see her close up. You don't need to break any rules to see her. So I did that, and first impressions, the positive. Honestly, I'm very impressed with the amount of details that she has. Like, we can even see the hair on her arms and the scars and stuff like that. And the look in her eyes is pretty spot on to her character. I'm starting off on that note because I do not want this video to just be me complaining about Sabine. I want my criticism to be constructive. And so I'm gonna bring out the positive things as well, because really there are a lot of positive things. The quality of this model really speaks for the future of the game. I think they're really improving themselves when it comes to quality. We see that in the horses as well. They're getting better and better. They're getting more detailed and they're getting better animations. And I think that's really good. The graphics are looking great. So the problem for me is not the model at all. The problem is that this doesn't look like Sabine. And I've felt like this is a problem for a very long time. I've tried not speaking too loudly about it because I know that some people are getting annoyed with me complaining about Lisa. But in full honesty, this is my biggest problem with SSO, because it doesn't seem like they know their characters at all. I think they even admitted this when they made Lisa.
Okay, so let's do Lisa.
Yeah, and I was like, great, so who's Lisa?
And when you asked me, I was like, I don't know. Who is Lisa? Then we realized we have a problem, because we need to know our characters if we're gonna make them believable. If we don't know them, nobody knows them.
No.
And I remember my reaction to that being that, how can you not know Lisa? Because she was the main character of the original games, pretty clearly. She was in Starshine Legacy, she was in Star Academy, there were comics, and there were character descriptions. And I don't understand how they can say that they don't know who she is, because she did have a pretty fleshed out personality. And that goes for all the Soul Riders. Most of the characters originally did have very fleshed out personalities, but for some reason the team didn't realize that. And so when they remade the characters, they are very different. And don't get me wrong, I mean, changes are not always negative. Sometimes changes are very needed. A lot of changes were needed. The models needed updating. So that's not what I'm complaining about in itself. And like I said, I'm very impressed with the details on Sabine. The problem is that it doesn't look like Sabine. This is not what Sabine is like. She was a rich, spoiled equestrian. She loved horse riding and she would do anything to win horse riding. Everything horse riding. That's why she hated Lisa and Linda so much originally, because she competed against them. From the very start, she's always been the classmate of the Soul Riders. She's been a teenager and she has been an equestrian. And when it comes to her characteristics, I think it's safe to say that we all imagine her to look like she does originally. She's always had bushy black hair, she's had dark purple eyes, at least in SSO. I don't really remember if she had the same eye color in Starshine Legacy. She might have had green eyes, but I'm not entirely sure. And even in the books, I reacted to how she was described because I didn't think that it sounded like Sabine at all. I have the book right here and I'm gonna tell you how she's described in here. A tall, broad-shouldered girl riding a muscular jet black horse. I think it was mentioned later on that she was muscular too, but I remember thinking that doesn't really sound like Sabine, but I kind of just rolled with it because, you know, maybe there are some muscle hiding underneath. As far as I remember in the books, there's no mention of eye color or hair or anything like that, or her background at all. It's mentioned that she's the new girl in the books, but it doesn't say anything about being an equestrian. So that is unknown information. We don't know anything about her background other than the fact that she's the new girl, apparently. But then we got her redesign, and she doesn't look like an equestrian at all. Her hair is different, her eyes are different. She doesn't look like Sabine at all to me. And to be fair, yeah, she was described as muscular and buff and broad-shouldered, but this was not what I expected. And it makes me really disappointed because I don't really see the point. I assume that they're doing it for the sake of representation, but they have Nihili. Nihili is the 4th Dark Rider, and we've never had her before. So they could just make her the way they want. They have all the creative freedom in the world to create Nihili the way they want. But they still manage to mess up existing character lore, and that is what annoys me. You know, I'm a theorist. Most people know my channel for my theories. And for me to make theories, I need to have some solid ground. And the lore in SSO is not solid at all. There's no way of knowing what's canon and what's not, because one day they suddenly decide to change it. In my opinion, if they want good storytelling, they should stick to what's being said. Period. Starshine Legacy started in 2005. This franchise has existed for 16 years. People have seen Sabine as this specific character for 16 years, and now it's being changed because reasons. I just don't understand what was wrong with her original character. Why can't they just update the character and make it fit the original character? I don't understand what the problem is, especially when they have blank characters like Nihili that they can create the way they wish. But the thing is that these are not just little nitpicky things either, because this is a reoccurring issue in this franchise. When the Soul Riders got updated, I made a video talking about that, about character development in the Soul Riders, and I thought a lot of the changes were weird and unnecessary. I said it then and I'm still saying it now, because changing characters after this many years, and especially Lisa, changing the character that much doesn't make sense. You might as well make a new character. They should make new characters who can tell their own stories. Let me tell you what was special about Lisa. Let me tell you who Lisa is. Okay? So Lisa, the original Lisa, she was special because she was the outcast. She was the main character because she was the outcast. She was not just the new girl in town, which she still is. She was a city girl. She was different from everyone else. She was a city girl in a town full of horses. That made her an outcast, and she was scared of horses. That also made her an outcast. And she had spiky red hair, which also made her an outcast. She was different in every single way. Hence why she also was into rock music, because not everyone was into that kind of music, right? That is one of the key points of her original character. She is the girl from the big city. She's the city girl that doesn't really fit in. But it doesn't matter. She doesn't have to fit in. She can be herself. And I have to admit, yeah, I do understand why they made her country. I understand that in a horse game, it makes more sense to have a country girl than an alternative girl, like a rock girl. But now Sabine shows up and she looks like a motorcycle girl, and that makes everything about the Lisa update so much worse, in my opinion. Because one of the main arguments about Lisa being country is that it fits the theme of the game, which is a horse game. But then why did they make an equestrian Dark Rider into a motorcycle girl? I don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense. And as a theorist, that annoys me because I don't know what to make of it. I don't know what is canon anymore, and what is canon now might change. It's bad storytelling. You need to stick to your own characters. It's not that hard. And let me tell you something, this is not just about the original games versus the game. The books are also not correspondent with what is going on otherwise. When they said they were gonna rewrite the story, I expected that to be the new canon, but apparently that's not the case either. Like, take Alex for example. What is her eye color? And what is her hair color? Because originally, she has blonde hair and brown eyes. In the books, she still has brown eyes. I'm not quite sure about her hair, but she's often illustrated with lighter hair as well. And in the game, she has gray eyes and brown hair. What does she look like? And the thing is that I don't really understand why they changed her eye color in the first place. That's like super nitpicky things that make no difference whatsoever. Why? Why? I don't understand it. It seems like they changed these things just to annoy older fans. It seems like they haven't even tried to make them look like their original selves. I don't get it. It's lazy, and I don't like it. They have admitted now that they don't have a dedicated quest team. It really shows, alright? It really shows, not only because of the lack of quests, but also because the lore being shattered to pieces. There is no way to puzzle together the lore and make it make sense, because they're all over the place. They know that people don't like change, and yet they make so many unnecessary changes. I honestly think that this is one of the biggest flaws in SSO, because SSO has existed for 10 years now. We have known these characters for 10 years. We have had this perception of these characters for 10 years. And now it's about to change because they decide that no, we want to make their personality different. We want to make their characteristics different. And now we have to decode our minds to make it fit the new normal. When you try to save Lisa from Pandoria, she still has her original Pandoria dialogue icon. So in a way, original Lisa is still canon. Imagine how confusing that is for new players, because they are expecting one Lisa, and when they save her, there's suddenly a different one. And I know I'm biased, I'm an original fan, I'm a fan of the original games, I grew up with them, I'm nostalgic, I know. But aside from that, it's still, dealing with change is hard no matter what form it takes. And when it comes to a story consistently changing, is not good. It's not good, it's bad. But then again, it's become pretty apparent that they don't really care about the story. This is not me being nostalgic. I literally do not care about the nostalgia in this game anymore. I can't care about the nostalgia because it's all gone. Nothing in this game is the way it used to be. And I think older fans will all agree with me on this. They've replaced everything that was there at the start of the game. There's just like minor things here and there that's still the way that used to be. For example, Mr. Sands. He's still the way he used to be, except he's not, he's human. See, this is my point. I can't think of anything that is the same as it used to be. The whole story has become a different story. The most important point in storytelling is consistency. You have to make a character and you have to stick with it. I don't really know what else to say. I probably have a bazillion points that I forgot to mention because I don't have a script. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end my complaining here because I've been recording for half an hour just ranting, and people are already annoyed with me because I enjoy the original characters. So I think I'm gonna end the video there. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, if you did, I'll see you around. Bye!